Sounds good, guys.
All right.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Art Edmonds from Military Makeover with Montel, and today we're in Sebastian, Florida for a very special Operation Home Comfort. So on Military Makeover, when Goodman provides an HVAC system to an older existing home, it comes with its own set of challenges. Here, today in Sebastian, we've got a unique opportunity to see a brand new HVAC system installed in a brand new custom build. So let's head over to our independent dealer, Custom Air Systems, to find out exactly what it takes to do an install like this. Gentlemen, great to have you all here to talk about HVAC and specifically the new build on the Berman home with a brand new high efficiency Goodman system. Curtis, I want to talk to you about Goodman HVAC and the amazing technology and high efficiency that's incorporated into every system. There's a great feature called Comfort Bridge technology that makes it so easy for you to service the units. Tell me about that.
Well, it's a new technology. The units communicate together and then you can access that and it'll tell you what's going on with the system, basically.
And as a technician, how does that save you time and resources?
Oh, it saves you a lot of time because you can pull it up on your phone. It gives you places, codes to go by to tell you what's going on, so you can go directly to the trouble instead of, pulling out wrenches and opening up boxes and trying to figure out what's going on.
Right, saves the tech time, saves the homeowner time. The event, unlikely event, something does need to be serviced. Comfort Bridge really allows you to diagnose it right away with the Cool Cloud app. How about the actual zones? Now we're doing multi-zones with one HVAC system. In the past, you used to have two separate units to run different zones in a home. But in the Berman house, we're going to be running multiple zones. How does that work?
Well, you have 3 different thermostats in 3 different zones, and they're sensing the temperatures. So then you don't need the full capacity of the air conditioner all day long. So as the sun comes up, like on the east side of the house, that zone will warm up faster. So you're only cooling that zone, because in the morning, the west side of the house doesn't need air conditioning, so it doesn't have to come on. The thermostats will sense as the sun progresses during the day, the thermostats will sense the heat load and send the signals to the main controller, and the main controller determines which zone needs the airflow.
That's really great. Now, what are some of the advantages that you see with a high efficiency Goodman system being installed into a home as opposed to just spending a little less and getting a regular system?
Well, the high efficiency system that we're going to install in the Berman home is a 2-speed system. So at night, the house doesn't need the full 3 tons of air. So therefore, it can run in low speed on the cooler days and high speed, on the very hot days.
For a homeowner that's sort of on the fence about going high efficiency or going a regular system, as a professional technician, what can you offer them as far as recommendation?
Think about the longevity, how long you're going to be in the home, before you choose a system. If you're going to be there, 5 to 10 years, definitely go high efficiency, so you get the payback. 2-speed is excellent in Florida because of our humidity, and without multiple speed, either 2-speed or variable speed, it's very hard to control the humidity in your home in the cooler days in Florida.
So people don't need to be afraid when you recommend something that may cost a little bit more, because you're thinking of the efficiency and the comfort and long-term payback that you're going to get from a high efficiency unit,
yes,
correct?
That is correct.
So you're not just trying to sell something, you're actually making a intelligent recommendation.
Right.
So Alan, talking about multi-stage and high efficiency, it can sound overwhelming to a consumer, but you can put their mind at ease by explaining to them that they're going to save money over time and it pays itself back. Is this something that you find beneficial to a homeowner?
Most definitely. It brings the cost of running the equipment down. Granted, it has longer running cycles, but it also circulates all the air in your home and balances out your house.
And last question about the Goodman brand. How does it feel to be able to recommend and service a unit and a product that's designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, and a company that hires and supports veteran causes?
Oh, it's great. They've been around a long time, a long time. We've been using them I've been with this company since 1986, and they were using the brand before that.
Well, thank you for being a part of this amazing build for the Berman house, and hopefully Paul doesn't give you too much of a hard time when you're doing your job.
Okay, thank you.
So let's go back to the construction site and talk with the general contractor, Pat, at Trendsetters Construction. All right, so I'm here at Trendsetters to meet up with Pat to check out the plans for this great house. Pat, this is so great after being out on the site, seeing the actual house under construction, to actually see the blueprint, and you designed this yourself.
Well, actually, Paul, Mr. Berman, and Marie came to us with some ideas, and we had a floor plan that kind of, had a lot of the elements that they liked as well. So between the three of us, we kind of put it together, and then we sent it to our draftsman. At the same time, Paul had a draftsman working on it as well. So at the end of the day, we kind of narrowed it down to the draftsman that he had chosen. But I would say the three of us and Jeff Joseph, the architect, are the ones that came up with the plan.
So it was a real collaboration, sort of a number of elements,
yes,
all coming together, and that follows into sort of how we approach a high-efficiency home. A number of elements all coming together. Tell me about that.
You want to build a house that's going to be efficient to run, especially with today's codes and all the requirements that we have to meet to keep the house cool. You have to create an envelope, and the air conditioning obviously is what cools that envelope. So all these elements have to work together. So we try hard to start from the outside and work in, and the air conditioning is basically what ties the knot.
Let's talk specifically for a second about the Goodman HVAC system. Something you probably encounter a lot, where maybe there's a homeowner that is getting a little budget conscious and they're getting a little scared of going with that high efficiency system. What would your recommendation be to them to spend a little bit more money up front to return on the back?
Well, I always explain to my clients that the economics of your home, if it's a long-term investment, don't you want it to be as economical as possible as you age in that home, especially if you're going to spend the rest of your life there. So I always try to sell it in the concept that the cheaper the house is to run, the more freedom that you're going to have, the less maintenance you're going to have, the less worries you're going to have, and lower utilities bills. I mean, who wants to have a high electric bill? So I always try to sell it on, it's a long-term investment, but you get it back. Because if you're investing in the elements that keep the house cooler or more efficient, over time you're spending less money, because eventually it's going to pay itself off. So in 10, 15 years, whatever it may be, and sometimes it's 7 years, you've already paid that back, and now you're just getting the benefit of that more economically built home.
And again, going back to Goodman, working with quality products, let's talk about how using high-end materials helps the finished product.
Well, and one thing, it's going to put you above the competition, because in most cases, other builders may not want to make the investment in that, so they'll find ways to, circumvent that type of thing. But at the end of the day, I want my clients to know that we're going to use the best products. Obviously they're going to pay for those products, but they're going to get what they expected. They're going to get the warranty, and they're going to get the best kind of service, and they're going to get the results that I promised them when I said, hey, we're going to build you an economical home, and it's going to be cheap to run.
Well, a lot of good information there, Pat, and we really are excited to see this plan in reality. Can we go take a look at the house?
Yeah, sure. It's right down the street. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, Pat, this is so cool to actually see these plans now in real life. Take us through. We're in the main living space, right? I guess this is office?
Yeah, it's an office den. Yeah, it can be used either way. So no matter where you are in this space, you can get a look at the TV. You get a nice view to the yard. A lot of glass to bring the outside in. That's Florida living the way I see it.
And then speaking of our Goodman HVAC system, we're talking about a multi-zone application. So we can break this up into this half of the house, bedrooms, the main living area, and the main master suite.
Yes, so you have more control of the speed and of the amount of air conditioning that you put into different sections of the home. So that when you're not in certain areas of the home, it doesn't have to be running. So it's going to run more efficiently. It's going to help bring down your utility bills.
And that's great, especially if there's no one in the guest bedrooms. Why do you need it super cold? And you want to make your master bedroom cold. And then this is a very unique thing here too. I was going to ask, where are we putting our Goodman air handler and all of the UV applications, the 5-inch media filter? That's all going in here, right?
That's right. We built a closet to put the air handler system in, to keep it in an air-conditioned space, because it works more efficiently when it is an air-conditioned space.
Normally it'd just be out in the garage somewhere or in a closet in the house. You've actually created a room here that's going to keep the dust and debris away from our air handler, which is great.
Yeah, so we're going to give it a longer life. It's going to be quieter. It's not going to make it's a quiet system as it is, but just imagine not being able to hear it at all because it's so far away from the living area.
great access point out here to the back of the garage. And this is where our heat pump is going to be and our generator in the future.
That's
correct?
right. The air compressor is going to be sitting right here. And down the end of the sidewalk here is where the future generator will sit.
That's fantastic. You've really planned ahead, and that's one of the best things that you can do when you're actually designing from scratch, right? Isn't that the benefit of designing a custom home?
That's right. Custom home building gives you that, capability, because you get to have a say-so and you know what the outcome's going to be. So we can design the house to fit your wish list to build an economic home, for a lifetime's worth of, happiness with your family.
Well, Trendsetters really came through, and I see all of your crew here are very reverent of you. They give a lot of leeway. The guy walks in with the plans, and everybody gets out of the way. I like that. You run a tight ship.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Art.
Pat, thanks for the tour, man. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've seen the build, we've seen the plans, and now we're going to see the folks that are in charge of the whole thing. Our homeowners, Paul and Marie. Guys, thank you so much for walking us through this amazing process and sharing part of your lives with us. Looking at the layout here, it's super open, super nice, but there's some challenges that come along with that to keep something cool, comfortable, and you wanted this whole property to be energy efficient. Why was that so important to you?
Putting more money into it to get the energy efficiency is going to actually benefit us in the long run with lower energy bills, and consuming less energy is also really important.
Well, that's great. And speaking of which, we know that it sort of all works together. And I got to talk with Pat, your general contractor, between the windows and the roof and the foam board insulation and the spray insulation in the attic, and the centerpiece of all of that keeps everything nice and cool, the Goodman high efficiency system. Using a top-of-the-line system like that was important to you, especially Paul, right?
Absolutely. We wanted something that really ensured that we would consume as little energy as possible, and to Marie's point, put more money in our pocket and not into utility bills. So the air conditioning is a central part of what the builder calls the envelope. So really creating an efficient space that has all the latest technologies, the foam board insulation, some of the things you mentioned. But probably at the core of that, the most important piece was the HVAC system. And we learned through the process, through Goodman and through talking with Pat and even the architect, Jeff, that things like a variable speed air handler and a 2-speed heat pump, dampered zoning systems, those things all work in concert to really make sure that the unit is only consuming the amount of energy it needs to when it needs to, which is great. And that's going to make a significant impact on to Marie's point, what we're spending on utilities and therefore what we're able to put back in our pocket.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to ask you this before we let you go. To know that you're working with a company that's installing your HVAC system, Goodman, that's designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, and also hires and supports our veterans. What does that mean to you guys, knowing that you've got such a proud American company, the third largest manufacturer, period, in the United States, that you're going to have one of their units in your home?
It's very important. It's very important to me and to us. My dad was a Marine. I have quite a bit of folks in my family who are military. My wife's dad was Air Force. Best man at my wedding, still to this day, works for the U.S. Coast Guard. So, it's important that we support our veterans, and equally important that we support U.S. industry and commerce. And we're proud to be putting a Goodman in because it is designed and assembled here in the U.S.
Well, I can't wait to see the finished product, and whether you like it or not, I'm coming back to check it out.
Can't
All right.
wait.
Can't wait. Look forward to it.
Guys, thanks so much. It was really great. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Operation Home Comfort. I'm Art Edmonds from Military Makeover, and we'll see you next time.